Simon Tov Mem Base. Didn't have over chometz. Okay. Let's just start with just an introduction to make sure the basics are clear before we get into this simon. Okay. First of all, there's an Issa Deraisa to own chometz on Pesach, which we've talked about in the last few semanas, right? Which is known as Bal Yeroeh or Bal Yemotze. It's two separate lavim. Lo Yeroeh Lacha chometz. Chometz mustn't be seen in your possession, and Lo Yemotze mustn't be found in your possession. We discussed that it doesn't literally mean it can be seen if it's goyish chometz, which in your possession, even though you can see it, is not a problem. It means it mustn't be owned. Right? They both mean the same thing. You must not own chometz on Pesach. These are called the lavim of Bal Yeroeh and Bal Yemotze. Okay. Besides for that, there's also mitzvah deraisa to destroy the chometz, which is tashbishu, to destroy the chometz, positive mitzvah. They work together.
They're both the same, so why is it double?
Sorry?
They both mean the same, so why is it double?
We learn each one adds different details to the halacha. But at the end of the day, whenever you're over one, you're over the other one. And it makes a double as chomor, that there's two separate lavim. So when we get rid of chometz, we're actually doing two things. Besides, we're doing the positive bits of destroying chometz, and we're also making sure that we're not over on the lavim of owning chometz. Right? They work together; the opposites and equal. Right? They work together. Besides for that, there's obviously the issue of eating chometz. Okay, and in addition to all this, even in cases when there's perhaps no issa, when there's no issa deraisa, when there's no issa deraisa of owning chometz and getting rid of chometz, it could be there'd be an issa derabonon to have chometz in one's possession, and therefore chiv midrabonon to get rid of it, because they're worried we might come to eat it. And there might be cases where we have types of chometz. We're going to talk about different types of chometz in this simon. Because there are going to be types of chometz we're going to see which one may not eat midaraisa. It's a biblical prohibition to eat it, and therefore, even though there's no biblical prohibition to get rid of it, but midrabonon, the Chazal said we have to get rid of it because we're worried we're going to come to eat it. Okay. Fine. So let's now start the simon. Simon Tov Mem Beis, Sifar, page 25. Taroives chometz. Okay. So we're going to talk about, first of all, taroives chometz. Taroives chometz is a mixture. Chometz is one of the ingredients inside a food, not necessarily a food product. Inside any sort of product, it's one of the ingredients. Chometz is mixed in with other chomarim, with other ingredients. Taroives chometz over malav mishum bal yeroeh bal yemotze. So Shulchan Aruch already tells us that there's an issa deraisa of owning such a mixture. One has a mixture which contains chometz inside, chometz in it. It's midiraisa, one may not own this mixture on Pesach, one has to get rid of it. Let's have a look straight away before we continue. Let's have a look at the MISHNA Berura, 4 lines from the bottom. MISHNA Berura, 4 lines from the bottom of the page. Tavshel, it's halfway through the line approximately. Tavshel shnitzbashel kodem ha-Pesach b'gdei kosher-bishul b'chometz bo b'yom. Ava pi she'ein b'tavshel shishim keneged chometz niflat l'seichem melacha-theory mutar l'hashoisei ad achar ha-Pesach. A tavshel which was cooked before Pesach in a pot that chometz had been cooked in it bo b'yom on the same day, even though okay, what happens is one doesn't actually have chometz inside, real mamoshes, actual chometz inside the food, but one has the taste of chometz. One cooked it in a pot. When one cooks food in a pot, taste from the food from the pot goes into the food. Okay? So what happens if one has a non-chometz product? Okay? Non-chometz product, which one cooked inside the chometz pot. Okay, so that's the first thing. Can one own such chometz on Pesach? Does one have to get rid of it or sell it, or can one leave it in one's freezer? Maybe one has a drawer in the freezer of chometz, food that he's not going to touch over Pesach. Right? Some foods we may not eat in Pesach, but we can keep in our property. Okay, so this sort of food, what does he have to do with it? Again, he's taken, let's say he's cooked peas, right? It's a non-chometz product, and he cooked the peas in a pot straight after he cooked chometz in the pot. Okay? These peas will have a slight taste of chometz. One may not eat it on Pesach. Right? However, one does not have to get rid of it. One can leave it as one's property over chometz, over Pesach. Right? This is what he says it. One may own this chometz. One may own this product over Pesach. Okay. So this is the first case we're seeing, right, of a product which is also to eat. One may not eat this chometz or this product on Pesach. However, one may own it. Okay? And here even the Rabbanon won't go there. So one may have this property. One may have this product in one's property over Pesach. Okay, so one doesn't need to get rid of or sell such items. Okay,
we're not worried that he'll eat it by mistake.
Sorry.
We're not worried it will be eaten.
Right, here we're not worried. Yeah. Why sometimes Chazal will go there and sometimes it won't go there? I can't always tell you. I don't know why Chazal weren't worried here.
Or is it that they don't consider it a true violation if he does eat it?
No, if he eats it, it's a true violation.
Rabbinic violation or it's right?
No, it's a biblical violation.
Mm-hmm.
It says clearly in the MISHNA Berura, you haven't got 60. It's not bottle. It's going to have tam. It's a pot that was used bo bayom. It was used on the same day for chometz. It would be a problem midiraisa, Torah prohibition if he ate it. However, the Rabbanon allowed him to leave it in his property.
And he's not required to sell it. He can still own it.
He's not quite sell. He can still own it. Yes.
Yeah.
What about the pots themselves? The pots themselves, is it chiyuv to sell?
The pots themselves definitely one doesn't need to sell. As we can see, even the food that was cooked in the pot.
Why is it?
The pot themselves definitely doesn't need to sell.
So in the nusach of the mechira usually it mentions that no, it doesn't say.
Okay, so the definite. Okay, it might mention that the dirty pots. If you have dirty pots, crumbs inside pots. Let's say you have a cheese toaster, right, or a regular toaster, right, which are very difficult to clean, right, unless you take it apart, in which case you probably won't be able to put it back together again. You can't clean it. So you want to sell those crumbs as well. And we'll talk about it more when we get to the halachas of selling chometz. But even then, in the vast majority of the shows, you'll see that you're not actually selling the actual kalim. You're selling the chometz on the kalim. Because if you actually sell the kalim, you have a problem after chometz that you're going to have to tovel the kli afterwards, because you're buying it back from a goy. So, but we'll talk about that more when we get to selling chometz.
We never sell the kalim, really.
Right.
We never sell the kalim.
So we don't sell the. It's better. Yeah, that's why it's better not to sell the kalim. Right. That's why. On the standard shtam mechira, they don't sell the kalim. So it's not. Don't sell the kalim. You sell the.
Toaster in a mikvah might be a bad idea.
Okay, let's move on. So definitely the pots one doesn't need to sell or get rid of, and even food cooked inside the pot, so it has the taste of chometz inside the food, one doesn't need to sell. One can own it over Pesach. Okay, let's move on. Let's have a look at the next MISHNA Berura, MISHNA Berura of cotton base. Here's we're now on the bottom line. Over olav v'chula. Aval chometz nuksha eina over olav mishum bali roye bali motze. There's a type of chometz called chometz nuksha. Chometz nuksha is chometz that's not properly edible. It's not truly edible. We're going to see it in a more exact definition later. This chometz, there's no issue of owning the chometz. However, midrabanon one may not own the chometz over. One has to get rid of the chometz. We're going to see examples soon.
When you say not completely edible, this is as opposed to something you mentioned 2 days ago about the tanner's liquid that is chametz gamor, but there's absolutely no problem because it's completely inedible.
Right. So we're going to. That's exactly. We're going to define this now. This is exactly what we're going to find this. Okay. Let's see all the definitions. Okay. It says the MISHNA Berura on the second line. V'nuksha mikri. It's going to define this verse more accurately. Dovo she'einu chometz gamor. It's not true chometz. The glue that the scribes used to stick the papers together. It's made from flour and water. or a dough which has not yet, there's no cracks yet in the dough. When it makes the dough, mixes the flour and the water, it has not yet reached the stage where it starts, when it rises, you see thin cracks in the mixture, in the dough. It hasn't yet cracked. When it cracks, it's proper chometz. It hasn't yet cracked. You can just see from the color. The color has become lighter, the color of the dough. Right, so it's beginning the rising process, but it hasn't yet started rising, it hasn't yet cracked. That's also called chometz nuksha. It's another type. Or it's only slightly edible. So MISHNA Berura has given us a couple of options here of chometz nuksha. All these examples on midoraisa, one may own the chometz on Pesach. However, midrabanon, one may not own the chometz over Pesach. Now the MISHNA Berura is just going to qualify this issue of food that's only slightly edible. V'dafke, it says in the brackets here, V'dafke shemei oilam lo yihoy ro'i la'achilo. Aval im niskalkel bo'inon ad shiposel melacha la'kelev echad ramon b'sif beis. This is only if it was never edible. But if it was edible originally, and then it became inedible, then it has to be that it's now inedible even for a dog. Okay, let's explain this slightly more, a bit better. Generally, we have a rule that with foods, once the food is inedible, it's not also. Right? If one has chaylev, forbidden fats, forbidden fats from an animal, and one left it outside the fridge, and after it wouldn't take very long, after a day or two it begins to smell. It's not edible anymore for human consumption. It's not fitting for human consumption. It's now not also to eat. There's no problem from these. There's no problem. One would want to, but there's no problem. Okay, it's not food anymore.
Right.
It's not food anymore. It's called einu ro'i leger. We learn it from a pasuk that says that you give a nevela, a dead animal, you give it to a ger, to a goy, someone who's living with us. You give it to him, to a goy to eat. So it has to be this fitting for him to eat it. Once it's not fitting for him to eat, then it's not called nevela anymore. It's not called that carcass is permissible to eat. Okay. Okay, that's the first halacha. If it's einu ro'i leger, if it's not fitting for human consumption, then it's not also to eat. Right? It's not anymore called food. By chometz, this halacha doesn't apply. By chometz, it has to be einu ro'i lachilas kelev. It has to be it's not fitting for a dog to eat. Okay. Why? Because chometz, even after it's not fitting for human consumption, it can still be used to.
Dog food. There's dog food. Or feed for animals or something like that.
No, but even nevela also can be used for feed for animals. A dead carcass can also be used for feed for animals.
Right, but the prohibition of nevela is for the people not to eat it. The prohibition of chometz is for you not to get any benefit.
Excellent suggestion. Excellent suggestion. However, there are other foods, there are other isurim that are also to give to animals. Right? We're also because those animals are also b'hanor, also to give to animals for any benefit. Possible cholav. And yet, that's a good example. And yet, also once they are not fitting for human consumption, it's not called possible cholav anymore. It's not food anymore. Okay? Why is chometz more strict? Chometz is more strict because dough which has gone off, which has started going bad, right, is perfect for using as a starter. Right, to ferment other doughs, right? And we used to nowadays just buying dry yeast in the store. But in the olden days, what they would use they'd use old bread in order to start the next mixture off, to start it fermenting. Okay, and therefore, until it is unfitting for dog consumption, it's still a problem of owning this chometz on Pesach. Okay. So that's number one. This is a difference between chometz and other isurim. It has to be einu ro'i lachilas kelev. Okay. So says the MISHNA Berura here the following: that if you have chometz which was fitting for human consumption, right, and now it's losing it's
going bad.
What's the word? Degrading.
Degrading.
It's going bad. Spoiling. That's the answer. It's spoiling, okay? Until it's unfitting for dog consumption, one may not own it. However, if the food at the beginning, when it was made, it wasn't made as a food, but the product that was made at the beginning was made in a way that is only slightly edible, It never was properly fitting for human consumption. It was made in a way that even from the beginning it's not a proper food and no one would eat it and it's just only slightly edible. In that case, it never midiraisa became chometz. And it's only also midrabonon, and it's got to do with chometz nuksha. It's also midrabonon. Okay? So if originally it was a food, it doesn't lose its status of chometz until it's unfitting for dog consumption. If it wasn't originally a food, and it was only slightly edible from the start, then it's only also rabbinically, midrabonon is also ta'im.
So like a glue that's made with flour.
Exactly, that's the exact example in MISHNA Berura. That was the first example in MISHNA Berura, a glue. Right? Let's say which is slightly edible. One could in theory eat it. Not poisonous, it's edible, one could eat it theoretically. That would be midrabon, that's called chometz nuksha. It would be also rabbinically to eat.
I think Play-Doh has that problem for kids, the toy.
Right. But it depends how it was made. If it was made in a way that originally it was properly edible,
then
it would have to be done for dog consumption. Right. You would have to know how the product was made. Okay? Okay. Okay, fine. Let's continue. Let's have a look at some more examples of the Shulchan Aruch. Before we go into our own examples that we have in the home nowadays, let's continue with the Shulchan Aruch. Kugoin. I'm now on the last word of the previous page. Kugoin is giving us examples. We're going back to the taroivas chometz, mixtures of chometz. Right? Products that have chometz inside them. Kugoin hamurius. Murius is one example. Let's have a look straight away at the MISHNA Berura to find out what murius is. We're not so familiar with the foods they had there in those days. It's cotton gimel, hamurius. We're going to do a bit of food technology from 2,000 years ago. So cotton gimel, hamurius. Min ma'achol hanasa mishum dogim. They had a food that was made from the fats or the oil of fish oils, fish fats. Im kemach kolui, with roasted flour. Umayim and water. Okay, those are the ingredients of murius. Doesn't tell us the exact how many parts of each I want to add. It would be a bit difficult to make yourself. The kutach is the next one on the list. If we look back in the Shulchan Aruch, the next one is kutach habavli. Kutach habavli. The kutach naase mimelach umimei cholov umisarev v'soichu gam peruri pas. Kutach is made from salt and mei cholov, which is whey. And also has in it crumbs, breadcrumbs, okay? Which makes kutach one of the most fascinating Talmudic foods. Right? Because not only does it have pure chometz, which means that it's discussed a lot in the Gemara with regards to Pesach, seeing as it has in it mei cholov, right, whey, right, it's also brought in all the sugas of basar v'chola. Right? So it's the Sheikh Amodi, the third one on the list, Sheikh Amodi. Sheikh Amodi is median beer. Right? Like our beer as well. Our beer is also made from barley. Okay? And it's called, it was only median beer. In the days of the Talmud, most of the sheikhor was made, most of their beer was made from dates. Because there were many dates. In Bovel they had lots of dates. As one sees in the Gemara, they had many palm trees in Bovel, so they made the sheikhah from dates. So what we call beer, which we make it from barley, in media they would make it from barley. So the stam sheikhah in the Talmud is made from dates. Sheikh Amodi is made from barley, and therefore with regards to Pesach, Sheikh Amodi is the problem. Sorry?
I was actually wondering that when I saw it 2 days ago. Why is it mentioned specifically medium beers and all beer made from wheat?
Right. So that's the answer. Right. So with regard to Pesach, we're only interested in the medium beer because the one made from dates is obviously not problematic. Right. Okay. Okay. So let's have a look. So those are all the three mentioned in the Shulchan Aruch. Murius, kutach habavli, sheikh hamodi. They're all food products that have in them chometz. So these are all examples of taroivas chometz. They're mixtures that have chometz inside them, and therefore they're also midoraisa. This is also midoraisa to own on Pesach. Back to the Shulchan Aruch on the top line. Any other similar food products, right, each place according to the time and the country, depending on what they like to eat. they would all be also midiraisa. Okay, let's have a look now at the Mishnah Berura of Cotton Dalit. The whole kayita be'elu. Kegoin, choymes v'adoim. This is another example, which is vinegar, which was made from one of the 5 grains. V'shari dvarim de kosher b'mishnah. Sheish b'em ta'aroi v'schometz. The yain sorof. Yain sorof, which is whiskey. Right? Yain sorof. Hanasa mechamishesh minei dogon. Right? Yain sorof would include all the various different drinks which have been distilled. Okay? So the ones which are made from one of the 5 grains, which whiskey is made from barley. Right? Vodka, I think, is made from potato peels, so that wouldn't be a problem.
Potatoes, radishes.
So any type of a product which is made from, like whiskey, which is made from one of the 5 grains.
Rye. Rye.
Right. This is even worse than a mixture of chometz. This is real chometz. This is real chometz. And we don't look at it.
Whiskey is nowadays considered chametz gomer.
So whiskey is considered chametz gomer, right? This is actually like
not to sell chametz gomer. He has to get rid of the whiskeys.
Correct. Someone who doesn't sell chametz gomer would that's correct. Yeah. Now, one has to remember that the whole idea of selling chametz started from products like whiskey, because bread you just get rid of.
Right.
It was only by chametz like whiskey, which are very expensive and last for a long time, where because of that they came up with the whole idea of selling the chametz.
Especially manufacturers of it.
It's more understandable to sell whiskey than to sell half a packet of
By the time PESACH is over, they'll be stale already.
Yeah.
It was also, if you were a manufacturer of it, it would take years to make it. So you're in this process of it. You have to sell barrels and barrels.
If your whiskey took less than a year to make, then it's not called whiskey.
And you're made.
It's not called whiskey. Yeah.
Use it up fast. So you better use it up fast. Your
Yeah.
Valentine's.
That's why Purim comes before Pesach.
Exactly.
But definitely, if one is not to sell proper chometz, and one only has half a bottle of whiskey, then yes, one should get rid of the whiskey. Yeah, good idea. If one has a large collection, then obviously the one sells it. But if one just goes to just have half a bottle left, then it's good to sell because it's proper chometz. So machlokas and achronim is a machlokas and achronim. Now those who hold that it isn't. There's a 3-way machlokas actually with whiskey. The achronim actually hold it's mutter to drink. Achronim hold that it's just zeil ba'almes. It hasn't all actual chometz never actually came into. Just a taste that went into the food. Achronim hold it's mutter. Achronim hold it's just taroives as a mixture. And achronim, the vast majority of achronim hold that it's proper chometz. The majority is achronim, and that's how the Mishnah Berura passes.
Well, we definitely think it's chametz. It's not only chametz; it's basically essence of chametz. Because you're distilling it. You're getting the purest form out of it.
Right. That's how we look at it, halacha, exactly. That's very